Number 2, no, it can't be written as f of x equals mx plus b. Number 4 is yes, because it can be written in slope-intercept form. Number 6 is 4x plus y equals -7. A is 4, B is 1, C is -7. 8 is 3x plus 2y equals -1. A is 3, B is 2, C is -1. 10 is x minus 3y equals -2. And A is 1, B is -3, C is -2. 12, what?
I accidentally did mine in slope-intercept form.
Oh, okay, well, you got them wrong. Good job. So what you should learn from that mistake is it's not really that big a deal on homework, right? But the moral of the story and the thing that you should remember is to read the instructions good when you actually take the test.
She just read the wrong instructions.
Well, comprehend the instructions well then.
I just sort of looked at it and it said standard form, but I'm so used to doing slope-intercept form that I just didn't.
That all makes sense. Yes, ma'am.
If you don't write out, wait, well, these kind of problems, when's the next test? What?
You asked 2.5 questions there, but I don't know when the next test is. I'd have to look at the calendar, and it's, eventually.
Will these type of problems be on there?
They certainly might be.
Okay, if you don't write out like the, wait, what is it? Like at the end of the equation, whatever equals this, and there's 3 of them.
Would you get counted off? Yeah, if the instructions said you have to say what A, B, and C is, then yes. Yes, you would get counted off. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Did I answer your question even though you didn't really even ask it? Yes. Oh my gosh. Now that song is in my head. So annoying.
What song?
Titanic song, Celine Dion. It's a great song, but I don't feel like I want it in my head right now.
I don't know it, so I'm happy.
I can't remember it.
That's probably true.
Maybe I heard, and
It's because you didn't grow up in the 90s. You would, even if you'd never seen Titanic, you would like have it hardcore in your head. Yes, ma'am.
So it is okay if you like have a graph and you do it like not just by ones, like if you like
That is absolutely fine.
you'll still get the correct answer.
Number 14 is right there. And 35 is right there. Let's see, what is 16? 16, yes, because it can be written in slope-intercept form. 18 is yes, because it can be written in slope-intercept form. And, 16 is, M is 4/3 and B is 20/3. 18, M is 0 and B is 6. 20 is no, because it can't be written in slope-intercept form. And 22 is no, because it can't be written in slope-intercept form. 24 is invisible. Oh, no, just kidding. It's right there. There it is. Yes, and M is 4/5 and B is 8/3. 26 is 7x plus 5y equals -35. A is 7, B is 5, C is -35. 28 is 3x minus 10y equals -5. A is 3, B is -10, C is -5. 30 is 3x minus y equals 4. A is 3, B is -1, C is 4. 32 is 9x minus 8y equals 2. A equals 9, B equals -8, and C equals 2. 34 is 2x plus 31y equals 78. A is 2, B is 31, and C is 78. 36 is up there somewhere. There it is. 38 is right there. And 40 is right there. What questions do we have?
on
32, and then what are you saying?
when writing standard form, the negatives of the numbers have to be a certain way?
A has to be positive.
Okay.
Great question.
And does it have to be simplified
It has to be integers, not no fractions. So I don't know for sure what you mean by simplified,
Like,
but that probably answers the question.
on a few of the questions, it's, like,
You-
namely number 10, I got A is 4, B is 12, negative 12, and C is negative 8.
Ah, but they can all be reduced. Yeah. Yeah, they can all be divided by 2 or 4 or whatever it was. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I think 34 was the one I was starting with, right? Wasn't that the one I was going to do? Oh, 32. 32, 34, and some other number. Okay, great. 32. That one's easy, but not if you don't think about how to do it. So let's do it.
Yeah.
It is definitely easy, but you may not think about how to do it. So let's do it. 2/3. Once you know how to do it, you'll be like, oh yeah, I got this.
Isn't that how it is with everything?
No, some things are just hard and just take lots of brain power.
That's true. See, Sean gets it.
But still, if you understand it, you
It makes it
can
easier.
do it.
That's true. But that doesn't mean some things are not just hard.
True.
All right. So we want to write that in standard form. That's our number one goal. What's wrong with it? Why is it not in standard form? It's fractiony, and what were you saying?
The 1/6 is on the wrong side.
That's right. The 1/6 is on the wrong side. Also, these are flipped around the wrong way. Also, this is negative. It's just shot to heck. It's all messed up. All right. So what do we want to deal with first?
Let's deal with the fractions.
The chorus says fractions. That sounds reasonable. How do we get rid of fractions?
Find the greatest common factor of the denominators so that they're all.
Well,
The numbers.
So you meant something entirely accurate. You just said something entirely wrong. Because the greatest common factor is 1. Least common multiple is what we're looking for. Least common denominator. And it is, in fact, 12.
wait, why?
Because that's the smallest number that they all multiply to get. That's what multiples are. So multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you can get the right answer even if you accidentally pick not the least one. As long as it is a multiple, you may have to reduce at the end, but you can get there. It's just going to be easier if you get the least one. All right, so now that we found the least common denominator, what do we do with it? Yeah, multiply times everything. But it's gonna kind of reduce, right? 3 goes into 12 how many times?
4.
Is that up there as an exponent or just to multiply?
Just multiply. That's a good question. 4. So we've got 4 times. I'm going to write this all the way out just for clarity's sake. 4 times 2, y, and then minus. 4 goes into 12 how many times? 3. So 3 times 3x. 6 goes into 12 how many times? 2. So plus 2 equals 0, because 0 times 12 is still 0, right?
Yes.
Now what?
You times.
We
Yeah, we times it out. That sounds great.
8
That sounds bad.
Negative 9x plus 8y equals negative 2.
Can you not just push into your calculator? Like 2/3 times 12.
You could, but you're going to be better off using your brain. But you could, sure. Yeah, it'll get the same thing.
times it by
2/3 times 12 is 8.
times the
So if you're going to do that, I would think it out and think, okay, I think it's going to be this, and then double check it. That way you're exercising both things.
And then times everything 1, -1.
That's a good idea. Multiply everything times -1, which is going to flip all the signs. 9x minus 8y equals 2. A equals 9, B equals negative 8, and C equals 2.
Yippee!
Skippy.
Wahoo!
So C has to be a positive?
A has to be a positive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A has to be positive.
In the beginning, when we use the greatest common factor, can we use -12 to say this step of?
You could, sure, if you see into the future. Yeah. So I mean, we're in Algebra 2. If you see a trick because number sense, do it. Why the heck not? Like, yeah, absolutely. That's totally a great plan. 34 apparently, right? It's got decimals. Yuck. Grody.
Oh no, I think we might die.
And we're even going to do it like the ugly decimal way instead of the pretty converted all the fractions and get it all out of the way.
Really?
We're gonna do it the ugly decimal way because
It was so
you know.
much easier doing it by fractions.
Maybe.
And it was actually legitimately very easy.
34 is negative 0.08x equals 1.24y minus 3.12. I'm even going to go one step further and use Nathan's number 6 trick and multiply everything times negative 100.
Wait, why?
Because then it makes the x positive and it moves the decimal over. So we're going to end up with 8x equals negative 124y plus 312. Now what?
Transfer the
No.
y.
Yeah, transfer it.
I don't
The-
know the word.
Add 124y to both sides is what we're going to do. The teacher before me that retired or quit, or no, she was fired because she walked into the principal's office, the new principal, and the principal's like, yeah, so the class has a 20% passing rate on the tax test. And she said, oh, I knew that was going to happen. And he said, goodbye. And then they hired a doctoral candidate, and she lasted 2 weeks and was like, bye. And so the principal called up Dr. Boyer at LCU, was like, hey, do you have anybody that could come and work for us? And he was like, yeah, actually, I've got a guy that could do an internship. Okay, so we got a problem right here. I'll finish my story in a minute. We got to finish the math now. We got to bounce back and forth. That can be reduced.
Find the greatest common factor. Yes, I actually used it right.
What if it's just 8? Are these all divisible by 8? Let's see. Let's make a guess.
Other people can guess.
No, incorrect.
Yes, ma'am?
Would that be an acceptable answer?
No, because it's not reduced.
No. 8 can't go into both.
Okay, so it's not 8. What about 4? Is it 4? Maybe it's 4.
I think it's
Nathan thinks it is 4.
It is 4.
Okay, so we're going to divide everything by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2, so 2x. And then 124 divided by 4 is 31. Y equals, and then,
78.
sure, why not? So A equals 2, yeah. And B equals 31, and C equals 78.
Write it all out like that when you can just look at the problem and know what A, B, and C.
The instructions said to list A, B, and C.
Structure.
Because they want you to they want you to know what they are.
But I know what they are.
Well, great, but how can we know unless you tell us? I can't see inside your brain, thank goodness, because if you could see inside other people's brain, that would be a bad way. That would not be a fun way to live. Can y'all imagine that? Think about all the dumb things that y'all think about other people, and now imagine if they could hear all of those things.
make a lot of enemies.
You would. And see, the problem is if you've never read the Chronicles of Narnia, do yourself a favor and read the Chronicles of Narnia. It's great. Unquestionably great. If you consider yourself to be a Christian, read the Chronicles of Narnia. Because outside of the Bible, it's like some of the best Christian work ever. And at one point, one of the characters gets to look into a magic book and see what her friends are saying about her. And she gets very upset about it because they're like, oh my gosh, Lucy sucks. But then Aslan's like, girl, they love you. People, they're just like trying to say dumb things to make themselves look good. So if you could see inside Malcolm's head and think about all the things Malcolm says ugly about me, I would think, man, Malcolm hates me. But Malcolm probably doesn't hate me. I mean, he might, but he probably doesn't. He just thinks that I'm dumb sometimes. And Taylor sits there and thinks, why is he rambling again? But she probably thinks I'm fine. So, you know, it's good. We can. Okay, number 10. 10. Time for you to get a watch.
Wait, what was the answer?
X minus 3y equals negative 2. A equals 1, B equals negative 3, C equals negative 2.
I got 4x minus 12y equals negative.
So divide it all by 4. Yep, true enough. Any other questions on this homework set? What?
38.
She was asking about 10, but then she realized that she had just not reduced, and so 40.
38.
Too slow.
Yep, too slow, in fact. 40. 40.
It's 4 plus D or something.
4, you imagine
That would be trippy.
like
There are movies and TV shows that have attempted to show what that would look like. Usually they just are like, okay, let's throw some weird psychedelic colors and say it's time or something. That's usually what they do.
Because I mean, like, imagine if you could only see in 2D your whole life, how trippy it'd be to automatically to all of a sudden see in 3D.
That is not the point of, but it is the premise of Flatland, which is a great book, but it's, yeah, anyway. What should we do?
Find the least common multiple of the two.
Sounds great. How about what is the least common multiple between 4 and 3? 12. And I'm even going to do negative 12 to make the x positive. Sounds great. Save ourselves some time and trouble. Whoa, that was astonishing.
What do you do?
I don't even know how she does it. It's annoying though.
What do
She
you-
always
what do you-
does it when I'm
You make like a whistle with your hand and then you.
Oh, that was the dove sound? That was like the loudest dove sound I've ever heard.
I know, I've been
You're
practicing.
like quite good at that. It's kind of
It's
astonishing.
annoying. It's not a good thing.
I always have to like fiddle with it for a second before I can like get the sound to come out. I never can do it like first try. So negative 12, 4 goes into 12 how many times? 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9, so negative 9y. 3 goes into 12 how many times?
4.
4 times 2 is
8.
8, so plus 8x. And negative 144. Can we reduce that? Does anything go into all 3?
No.
1.
Only 1, that's true, because 3 doesn't go into that. And that's the only thing that goes into that. 3 would work over there, but
Let's divide it all by 1 then.
great. We don't have to. But we do need to go 8x. Wow. Minus 9y equals negative 144, and then A and B and C. Yep.
You have to write it down. That's what the
I do, but I'm not going to.
So would you, so on some of them, like, it came with, I accidentally wrote, like, negative 9y plus 8x.
That's not standard form.
Were we supposed to find like the X and the Y, not the? Stop it.
Let her ask her question. I haven't figured out what she's even asking yet. What are you talking about?
Because in the problem it says find the X and the Y, not find A, B, and C.
On this problem, which was number 10, right?
Find the X and Y.
You said it was 40.
Oh, it was 40. Just kidding. Number 40. Oh, you're right. Yeah, I'm not done yet. How do I find the x-intercept?
By putting Y as 0.
Yeah, great. So for the x-intercept, it's going to be negative 144 divided by 8. So what's the x? So that would be what?
18, negative 18.
Fancy X.
Does it say that you have to do it
To make
in
up
one
for the
first?
previous X's.
I don't know, does it? Let me see.
Gotta make up for the one right above it.
No, we totally wasted our time.
Lovely.
Okay, to find the y-intercept, we put a 0 in for x, so that would be negative 144 divided by negative 9, so what would that be?
16. Positive 16.
So that's how you, like, that's the equation you always put a 0 in there.
And that's so I've said this before, but it bears saying again that is always true forever and always. No matter how ugly the graph gets, no matter how many intercepts it may have, to find them, you always put 0 in for the opposite thing. You may have to then factor or do some other nonsense to get the answer, but that's always how to find intercepts, always. Yes, ma'am?
Are we gonna do problems that have lots of intercepts?
Yes.
Why should you call her ma'am? She's no ma'am.
She's not a sir, so I don't
She doesn't
know.
deserve the title of ma'am.
She doesn't deserve the title because she was yelling at me earlier today. And she poked me in the ribs and I didn't like it. It was terrible. I'm suing.
Accurate impression.
I don't think it was accurate, but it might have been an accurate impression of what's inside her head. I don't know. Who knows? I've never been in there. Okay. Any other questions from this lesson?
Do we have a quiz today?
Any other questions from this lesson? Let's take a quiz. It's all Malcolm's fault. I totally wasn't about to say let's take a quiz when he asked, do we have a quiz? Totally wasn't. That was not a thing that was going to happen.
I should have made a more nutritious breakfast. I'm so hungry.
Oh, do we get our quiz from Tuesday back?
Not today.
Dang.
Dang it, bro.
Ooh, look at all these graphs. Numbers. Look at the circle graph. What type of problem gives you a circle? We'll learn. I don't need to.
X squared plus y squared equals radius squared.
Ew. Radius
That sounds
gross.
gross.
And we certainly might get to conics. We did barely get to conics last year in this class, so if they can do it, you can do it.
We gotta be speedy. No getting sick.
What? We will when I grade them. He did. Where were you?
What page are we on?
71.
Literally just wrote it on the board.
Well, I was looking up when it wasn't written on the board. So,
I remember S? Oh, okay.
so confused.
This is the same thing every time. Numbers. This has been you ask that every time I write this. I'm just throwing it out there. It has been a reoccurring nightmare.
I don't remember. You have asked that quite a bit.
Every single time. I think that's literally true. And 13. It's beautiful. Oh my gosh, they're not even hard.
There's 4.
And if y'all quit whining, maybe I'll let you out early today. So, you know.
Let